The intro is an 8-bar pattern made up of a 2-bar phrase repeated 4 times. Play it with the metronome and we'll talk through the notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, then it goes into the verse. Now, this pattern. The notes we're using: A, 5th fret of the E string, E, the 7th fret of the A string, octave A, 7th fret of the D string, and G at the 5th fret of the D string. So we're playing a low A, then we've got a muted note, so we're just holding the fingers on the string but not pressing them down. We've got a muted note, and then we're pressing E down. Then we've got another muted note, this time on the D string, and then we're pressing the octave of A down. Then you've got G, E, G, G. Now I really suggest you have a listen to the original and hear how David Hungate plays it and how the muted notes really give some propulsion and lift to that, what's basically just root, 5th, octave and flat 7 line over an A minor chord. So a very basic line. We're not using anything flashy, we're not even using the minor third. But those muted notes really goose the line, give it some rhythm and some drive, and really start taking the line forward. After the intro we go to, there's a verse which has got 2 parts, and each part corresponds to one half of the duet. So we go to the first half of the verse, which in the first verse of course is John Travolta's duet part. The first part of the verse is a 16-bar section, but you already know 10 of these bars because we're just going to play that figure. So you've only got 6 bars to learn. 2 bars where we go down to F, 2 bars in C, and 2 bars in an E chord. I'll play it through the metronome and then we'll talk through the notes. 3, 4. Then we'd be into the next section where the lyric starts out, you better wake up or you better shake up or whatever it is. Right, so let's go through that bar by bar. The first 4 bars are the pattern we already know. So we play that pattern twice. Then we go down to an F chord and we're going to play. So first note is F at the 1st fret of the E string. Then you've got a choked note and then C, the 3rd fret of the A string. Then we've got another choked note, and this choked note you can play as you're moving your hand up to change position. And then we're going to play the octave of F with the 1st finger again on the 3rd fret of the D string. Then we're going to play this pattern, which is C, D, F, D. 3rd and 5th frets of the A string for C and D, 3rd fret of the D string again for F, back to D. Then we've got 2 bars of a C chord, and we're going to play. So it's C, 3rd fret of the A string, choke note, G, 3rd fret of the E string, C again, then G, A, C, C. So C, that bar is the low C, the 3rd fret of the A string. You've got G at the 5th fret of the D string, A at the 7th fret of the D string, C at the 5th fret of the G string, and play that again. Then we've got 2 bars of E we're going to play, which is E, 7th fret of the D string, sorry, the A string, excuse me, G sharp, 6th fret of the D string, B, the 9th fret of the D string, and then that pattern is E, 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 D, C, E and D 7th and 5th frets of the A string, C this time at the 8th fret of the E string. So the 2 bars of E, and then we're back into that pattern played 3 times. So I'm just going to play very slowly those 6 bars in the middle where we're not playing the pattern on the A minor chord. So it'd be, starts off on an F chord, and then back to that pattern on the A minor chord. Okay, when we come out of that, we go into the second part of the verse, which is kind of the female duet. So that's the next section of the tune to look at. The second section of the verse, the first time through is a female vocal, is an 18-bar section, and basically it's formed of 2 8-bar sections which are identical, and then the last 2 bars are played again before we go to the chorus. So I'll play through the first 8-bar section. 3, 4. Okay, so let's go through, turn the metronome off, let's go through and work that out. The first 2 bars are a C chord, you're playing. So we've got C, E, G, and again that choke is enabling you to change position on the neck. And that run is G, A, G, E, D. So let's look at the note positions. C is the 3rd fret of the A string, muted note. E, 2nd fret of the D string, muted note. G, 5th fret of the D string, G again, then A, G, 7th and 5th frets of the D string, E, D, 7th and 5th frets of the A string. 3rd and 4th bars are an E minor chord. You're going to play. So we're going to play E, G, B, B, C, B, G. So E is the 7th fret of the A string. Then you've got a choke note. G is the 5th fret of the D string. Choke note. B, 4th fret of the G string. B again. C, 5th fret of the G string. B, 4th fret, back to G at the 5th fret of the D string. Then the next bar, this is bars 5 and 6 of this pattern, we're going to A. The first bar you should already be familiar with. It's the first bar and the first bit of the next bar. So A, choke, E, choke, octave A. But then the next section is different. We're going to play, which is B, C, B, A, G. B, C, B, 4th and 5th frets of the G string, A and G, 7th and 5th frets of the D string, and then you're going to go to F. And to finish the phrase, we're going to play F, choke note, sorry, F's the D, the 3rd fret of the D string, choke note, A, 2nd fret of the G string, another choke note which enables you to change position, up to C, 5th fret of the G string, and then you've got, that run is C, D, C, A. So C's the 5th fret obviously, D's the 7th fret of the G string, back to C at the 5th fret, to A at the 7th fret. Then, so that's the first 8 bars, then you play those 8 bars again. I'll play them through slowly. Played that, you repeat those last 2 bars in F, and then you're ready for the chorus, which will be the final part of the video. The last section of the tune we need to look at is the chorus. This is a 16-bar section again. It's made up of 3 4-bar patterns that are identical, and then a final pattern to get us out. I'll play with the metronome, and then we'll talk through it. 3, 4. Okay, and that last bar is a really cool little muted note being used. Let's look at the first pattern first. So we're just basically kind of walking up C using the arpeggio notes. We've got C, 3rd fret of the A string, muted note. Sorry, no muted note there. Then we've got E at the 2nd fret of the D string. Then we do have a muted note. We've got G at the 5th fret of the D string, and then G, A, C. So G is obviously the 5th fret of the D string again, A and C, 2nd and 5th frets of the G string. And then it's kind of like the second part of that phrase is C, E, F, A. So C, a muted note this time, E, 3rd fret of the A string, 2nd fret of the D string, then another muted note, F at the 3rd fret of the D string, and A, 2nd fret of the G string. So the whole 4 bars sounds like this. I played that twice. Let's go and look at the last pattern. You're playing something like this. So we're playing low G, octave G, 3rd and 5th frets of the E and D strings. So low D to octave G, another octave G, then a muted note, then another octave G, G, F, D. 3rd fret of the D string for F, 5th fret of the A string for D. So. And again, hear how that muted note really helps just pick up and really push forward the line as you land on a downbeat in this instance. It's really worthwhile listening to the original. Even if you hate the song, I don't care. There's some really great lessons you can take from this on the use of muted notes, both in propelling your bass lines forward and in using them to facilitate shifts on the neck, so you can move up and down the neck easily without having any adverse effect on your bass line. So it's a great song to learn. I highly recommend you learning it. If you do any kind of working stuff, gigging bass parts for wedding bands, that kind of thing, it's a song you might have to play anyway, so it's definitely worth learning. So I hope you enjoy that. More importantly, I hope you take away the big lessons from studying the bass line that David Hungate created for this song.